get on here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, some of y'all may not know him. We do. It's our good friend over at the Content Factory, the Dummies. We need to do this like the Bulls used to do. Boom, 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 Their starting lineup.
And now,
hey, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to ask him. Was Scooter number 16 and Hootie number 10?
Hey, have we ever had two guests on the show at one time?
Standing
yes,
6'6".
We have. We had
From North Carolina.
Went down south football. But coming up for us, you know what I'm saying? From former UAB QB, Chris, MF and Hootie Williams, and also Mastaki Stock Williams. Welcome to the Golden Boot. Thank y'all for joining us. What's good, fellas?
I like y'all for a presentation, man.
What kind of background you got? Hey, I love the piano in the back.
You can tell who don't know how to be on Zoom or something.
No, I ain't at home, man. I'm on the road, man.
That man got a whole mansion behind him.
I just walked up, man. I want y'all to see all of this back here. You know, we can enjoy this together one day.
He got us on MTV Cribs and stuff.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if that's Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous or MTV Cribs.
I'm used to Zoom.
He got a beat,
man. So you gotta.
Yeah, he got a beat. It's definitely MTV.
BT how I'm living. Nah, it's BT how I'm living, man.
This is where the magic happens.
Right, exactly. Right over on that sofa back there.
Hey, welcome, fellas. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank y'all for having us.
Hey, so for the Golden Boot fans, when I told y'all at the end of the first episode, we shouted out, you know what I'm saying, some people, you know, some who are instrumental for us getting started. These two guys with the Dummies podcast are part of it. They made, I said it, I told Stock before, y'all made me believe that, okay, yeah, I can do a podcast. Y'all make it look easy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. But first, man, stop. Who I don't know what y'all can paper out scissors. Who want to go first, man? Tell us about yourself. Tell us how you know what I'm saying. How you know what I'm saying? How'd you end up at UAB?
I'll let Stock go. Go ahead, Stock.
Man, it was a journey for real. Like, you know, like the recruiting process originally, like, you know, I was looking at mainly at SEC schools. And at one point I was really like set on thinking it was gonna be Auburn. But I ended up I mean, here you know this part, but like in high school, I really didn't do what I was supposed to do early. And for a lot of athletes out there who don't know, like if you don't do what you're supposed to do early and you don't have any advisors, anything that catch it, that could hurt you later. Mm-hmm. So I ended up being what's called a partial qualifier, or Prop 48. So I couldn't qualify for Auburn, but to make schools like UAB and those Conference USA schools at the time more competitive, they can still go after those kind of players. So it fell down to like UAB, Southern Miss, South Florida, Central Florida. And I took a visit to Birmingham, man. I love the campus. I love that it was in the middle of the city. I had friends and family kind of around the area already, and so I just made it. It just felt like home, so I just picked UAB.
All right. I had put you on mute. My bad, Hootie.
No, you good.
I put you on mute just for the sound. But go ahead, tell us your story. So hold on. I do want to throw this out there. I am upset with you. I don't know
what I do.
I don't know what's the
reverse.
Yeah, because you picked Alabama. You said it's reverse fandom. So, and I was like, what in the world is reverse fandom? Never again. But now, for those.
But that's also going to be a bad thing this week because this week I picked us to make the playoffs if we went out, but Stock said it was crazy, and that's what a reverse fandom might not work.
Gotcha.
So in opposite direction. But that's cool that you muted me because we got a little background noise. So sorry for that, man. Fresh off the road, man.
You good, man.
Cool. Fresh off the road, man. Just came from Birmingham, sat in traffic for about 2 hours, just sitting there. But how did I end up at UAB? Going off of what Stock said, man. I didn't do what I had to do early, but I really wasn't even thinking about college until after my senior year of football. Like I didn't have any. I wasn't any big recruit my junior year. I played about 4 or 5 games my junior year. Played subtle, but then our offense it changed. It became something different. It became a monster my senior year, and so I didn't really get too many offers until after the senior year of my football season. And I was an athletic quarterback at that time. I was 5'11", 195. Nobody don't want me to play quarterback for them. And that's cool when I get it 195, boy. You know, that's been a minute ago. But
I don't know if you're 5'11" though.
You a hater, boy. I'm 5'11" and 3/4. Give him my 3/4. I want all 3/4. I want all of them.
5'8.5".
5'11", 3/4, boy.
Hey, listen, if Bryce Young 6'1", Hootie definitely about 6'2", 6'3".
UAB listed me as 6 foot, so you know.
There you go. Hey, I believe it.
He did,
yeah, man. So
full score though.
Measured you with your spikes on, huh?
LSU was recruiting him to be the long snapper, man.
Nah, it was cornerback. It was them and Tulane because you know they had these 6'6", 6'7" quarterbacks at the time. So they recruited me, but to play cornerback. I'm like, man, I'm not going to tackle nobody in the SEC. Are you nuts? No, I'm good, man. I'd rather slide. I'm going to slide, man. Let me go run and slide. I ain't going to tackle these niggas. I don't even want to tackle Rohan Davey, let alone, you know, the running back. So they recruited me to play quarterback. I took 2 visits. I went to Arkansas State first, and it was in the middle. No offense to Arkansas State, but it was in the middle of nowhere. It was in the middle of nowhere. They had a Walmart and a steakhouse. I don't remember the steakhouse, but that's where we went to eat on the visit. And that was all they had, man. It was in the middle of nowhere. And I went to UAB. And before I went, I was like, I really don't want to go here, man. It's Alabama. It's the middle of the country. It's going to be boring. And I got there, and it was the city. You know what I'm saying? It was the city. It was the city lights. It wasn't from mom's like to travel to Atlanta, 2 hours from Atlanta. 5 hours from home. Then I was that was at the time. I was going home. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. That was at the time I was going home.
Where you from, Stu? Where you from?
Okay, I'm from New Orleans.
Okay, all right.
That's where I'm at right now. And I'm going to the LSU UAB game tomorrow, Saturday.
Nice.
So yeah, I just got down here. But yeah, man, I got to Birmingham and I didn't pick UAB, man. My mom picked UAB. Because she drove, that's when we had the MapQuest map.
Had to print the directions out.
Oh, man.
Right. And we drove, me and her drove there. We got lost downtown on University. But we had a good time, man. And they treated her right. They treated me right. And she picked it for me. She was like, you going here, I don't care what you say. I was supposed to go to Southern and then like New Mexico the next week. She was like, you ain't going. Okay.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's you said MapQuest, so
oh man,
you ain't living if you ain't never had to be Siri. You know what I'm saying? I remember
read them words out.
I went to DC with my daddy. I don't know if he watching. He was like, how far we gotta go? I said, you have 18 miles to your
you put that voice on.
Hit a right. Then
you better than me. I went to sleep on moms. Me and moms, I went to sleep.
Nah, you can't slip on them old school directions.
What? MapQuest.
You'll wake up, be somewhere else.
Middle Mississippi.
Me and my mom's in Dallas. I fell asleep. We was in Oklahoma.
Oh man,
I swear.
Oh man. But hey, so y'all time at UAB, I started reminiscing, like looking, you know what I'm saying, when I was pulling this together, I started looking at like, you know what I'm saying, y'all time, like the teams y'all played. Y'all had wins against like 2004 specifically, Baylor, Mississippi State, TCU. Now TCU wasn't in the Big 12, but still it was TCU. You know what I'm saying? Then I look back year before that, y'all beat Mississippi State again. No, I'm sorry, not Mississippi State. Y'all beat Baylor, but then y'all had a season where y'all lost to Georgia by 3 points, lost to Tennessee by a touchdown. Y'all lost to Oklahoma by a touchdown. Stock, I know you always talk about this, but I'm gonna go ahead because
you gonna play it.
I was telling people about this. I remember, so this was fun, but I agree with you. Everybody looking at this, UAB got robbed too. Y'all feel like LSU. I know it. This was clearly a fumble. They gonna show it again, and y'all would have took the lead. I already know it. All right.
Look at you hyping him up, man. You hyping him up, man.
Hey, where you?
Oh, 06.
Hey, on On the replay, that's clearly a fumble.
Easily.
That's clearly a fumble.
Fumble.
Yeah.
Clearly a fumble. So I know.
Clear as day.
Yeah, y'all call 50 Cent, man.
I don't care.
I need my movie, man. I need my series. I need my series on that.
Just make sure I'm on it.
But tell yeah. So y'all time at UAB is y'all UAB has always played tough. Don't matter who the competition is. Tell us about the culture when y'all was there.
I mean, for me, especially when you go back to that 04 season, I think one of the reasons we were so successful and we played so many teams good was because we had like top to bottom, we had a roster full of, and I hate to say it like this, but like a lot of people were, okay, I was going to South Carolina, I'm going to Clemson, but I got hurt. And then you know what I'm saying? So our whole roster was loaded full of players like that. And at the time when 04, I was like, I think that was our sophomore year. You know, we didn't start, but we played special teams. And we really did love playing on special teams. Like, that was the only time kickoff, punt, and punt return was the only time I was going to get on the field. So we made sure that when we was on the field, we went hard. So when you got good starters in place and you got players who look at special teams like you were starting, I think that kind of helped kind of solidify our game when we played on the field, you know. And then we had some good players, man. I remember they had a write-up in the paper. I want to say we lost a lot, you know, a lot of games, but we were, like you said, like it'll be 1 point, field goal, missed field goal, or fumble. We lost like 7 or 8 games over a 2-year stretch, like less than 2 points, you know, so they were always close games. And, you know, I just like, it was just a good run, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Hold on. My bad, Hootie. Hootie.
You good.
I mean, y'all, you talked about that. You ain't talk about SEC caliber defensive back we got over here. So I ain't know that story. Hey, you about to tell can't get right that one because I don't know if he knew that one because he always mess with you about your quarterback.
You don't. I ain't gonna waste my time telling him nothing, man. He gonna forget it as soon as I tell him, man. But when you say that, going back to what you said and what Stock said, those close games, as well as you mentioned the Georgia game, my 3 points. That was my freshman year, the first game I started. You know what I'm saying? The first game I started as a quarterback, Darryl Hagney got hurt the week before against TCU. The week before, he broke his hand. So my first game start was against Georgia, at Georgia, in front of 90, 100,000, however many thousands it was. It was a pretty good game, man. We lost that game by 3. We almost pulled it off. But for me, that's the game I always go back to, always remember. I think that's the picture you got. It might be from there that you had on. I like to bring out that you brought us out to, too. Man.
I told Stock, too. I said, y'all old because on the picture I can find was black and white.
It's almost gray. It's great. It's a little gray.
He tried to put us in them Herschel Walker helmets.
Right. The soft helmets. 1906s. But man, my time at UAB, man, for me, and I always said, and that's be the argument that PWI, HBCU, to me, man, UAB was HBCU, man, because that's the only pockets we really hung in. It was always
don't get us in trouble, Hootie. We do an HBCU show. Don't get us in trouble.
We're gonna start some controversy for y'all.
Yeah, they're gonna like, y'all was not an HBCU.
No, I know we weren't, because when I went to these classes with 300 people, I saw a lot of mix. But as far as the corners you hang in, you're gonna find your people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the atmospheres we were in. But for me, UAB was cool, man. It was better than what I thought it would be going there. I thought I was going to some in the middle of nowhere country town with a lot of just all white people. But I got there, enjoyed myself, man. And I wouldn't change it. And I always say that. That's one thing I would never do. I'm not going to LSU to play cornerback. I would never change that, man. I'm going back to UAB.
And you talked about UAB. We used to joke and call UAB Bishop State North because it seemed like everybody from home would go to UAB, but the camaraderie I see, you know what I'm saying, out of everybody who, you know what I'm saying, from Mobile who went to UAB and stuff. But yeah, go ahead, Stock.
Yeah, we was loaded up there as far as how many people, you know, went there, like just even regular students, not even just athletes. But one thing I wanted to say, you had brought up UAB and who we played, like the Memphis, the Cincinnati, the Central Florida.
The real conference USA.
Louisville,
Right.
who else? Like TCU. A lot of those teams, they were in Conference USA, and we were beating them handily, regularly. Baylor, we beat them. And I'd be crazy if I don't come on here and say this part of it, but like, it was kind of systematic, kind of when UAB kind of had their little issues, because Alabama.
You guys went on the. You guys had probation, right?
No, we didn't get it.
We didn't have no probation.
No. You talking about something. He talking about more recently whenever the program got disbanded.
Yeah, like I was just saying the trajectory of where UAB was headed was right there in line with those programs that we're seeing, the Cincinnati's, the Louisville.
We was about to
what you saying,
Stock? Part of the problem.
So what you saying is the reason why Alabama, why y'all played Georgia and why y'all played Mississippi State, but why y'all didn't play Alabama. That's what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
they ain't gonna play us. They ain't playing us.
And I know he got a part in it, and I will get to that, but it's a reason why that kind of happened and why it looked like that. And it was deeper than what a lot of people realize, but we'll get to that part of it.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
I got a quick question for either one of y'all, Stock or Scooter. Man, tell us, because you guys played in a lot of close games whenever you guys were in college, and you played against big programs. So what does it feel like as a player walking into a stadium with 100,000 plus fans screaming at you, and you probably see, you got your fans there, you're the visiting team, but what does that feel like, that environment? What's going on?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing, man. And for me, one of the best atmospheres I played, and not many people say that, is South Carolina. So we walked into South Carolina, you couldn't hear a word. You hear a big cock, boo, 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 whatever the noise is, the cock. That little gamecock noise, man. The stadium was shaking, man. That in Tennessee, two of the best places, but I still would give it to South Carolina. But it's just, man, it's fun, man. It's not something I can really explain. You just really got to experience it and you got to know it, but it sends chill through your body, bro. And anybody who's been on the stage or any that atmosphere like that, they're gonna feel it. It's just something that you can't really explain. I don't know.
And it's exhilarating. Like he's saying, picking up off of it, it's exhilarating, man. Like it's what you like as a kid, you grow up, wanting to do one day, like be in front of thousands of fans or knowing that game is on ESPN that day, or it's the only game on at that time. And your people hearing, and you make a tackle, and you hear, Mastaki Smith on the tackle, and the TV announcer probably saying that same thing. So
be like my mama saw that.
Yeah, but for my girl, the girl that
right.
But no, like honestly, like it's crazy. Even in that moment, though, I'm grateful because in the locker room, I used to always be like super grateful for being able to have that opportunity because I played ball with a lot of good players. And everybody wasn't fortunate enough to be in that situation. So when you go play the people like the Tennessees and the Georgias, you just want to kind of show that you belong. Like, I know how to play football just like you. There's nothing really separate us more than the depth, or the name on the front of that jersey or that helmet. So, every time you line up with those kind of people, you want to go out there and show that you play football just like they do, and you want to match up and see how you match up. And it was always good to go against those SEC linemen, playing Florida State, ACC linemen, see how you measure up.
Them boys pretty big too. I ain't gonna lie. Them boys pretty big. It's big fellas.
Yeah. So we touched on this a little bit before when the program shut down. I know y'all weren't there, but I know as alumni, I know y'all are still kind of active. Being around the school and stuff. It was a big deal for the whole state of Alabama when the program shut down because, as I mentioned. I joke and say Bishop State North, but it's a lot of people from Mobile were hurt by that. There's a lot of people in Montgomery, a lot of people in Birmingham, Huntsville, all over the state were hurt by the shutting down of the program. I always say because y'all are part of the Alabama system, the actual University of Alabama system.
Yeah, it's University of Alabama. Of Birmingham, like
Birmingham.
It's in Birmingham, but it's Alabama system.
Yeah, it's their system. Y'all, I know Alabama has a thing; they don't play any in-state schools outside of Auburn. If they had to play y'all in a game, that money stays in the house. The funding is there and stuff. I always question that, but
Recruits.
yeah, wow.
Can't afford it.
What was it like? What was it like?
Oh
I
my bad, I'm
mean,
sorry.
no, you good. I was gonna say, what was it like? Just saying when they shut down their program and stuff. Because like I said, everybody. I can tell you how everybody else felt.
Mhm.
But
I never thought it should happen, man. In being on behind the scenes of it, you hear it in just conversations within us. We're like, man, that's not going to happen. There's no way possible. Well, why would UAB be leaving? And just a few years ago, we went to a Hawaii Bowl. This just happened. You know what I'm saying? We still successful. We're doing a whole lot better than a whole lot of schools within this state, within this city, within this area. Yet that happens to UAB. To me, that just made no sense. And I didn't get it. And I think that everyone saw that. And that's why there was a big outcry, a big outpour about it. And it was all over the place because they saw that that's not the school that should be going away. We're more profitable than a lot of schools that just hanging around and losing money for 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah, they still have a football team. You're going to put it on money?
And just speaking off that profitability, like while I was at UAB, I was a member of SAC on the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. So I used to get to sit in the meetings with the AD who happened to be our head coach. And I got to see like the budgets and the ins, the outs, the inner workings, the idea of the stadium that they finally got in Birmingham. They used to show us that when they was recruiting us to come to UAB, hey, we finna get a stadium. So a lot of these facilities and things were thoughts even way back then. And so when they shut down the program, it wasn't shocking because it was something they've been wanting to do. UAB was never supposed to field any competitive sport. It was only supposed to be a research and development school. It was supposed to be for the medical center. And so the fight was always between Val Bryant and Gene Bartow because he started the basketball program and it wasn't supposed to be this. And nobody wants to compete with the crown jewel. Alabama, we all know, in the state, even over Auburn, is the crown jewel of the state of Alabama. It just is what it is. And although people say, oh, well, Alabama got more money and they got a bigger budget. Yes, this is true. And how can little old UAB compete with that? All you have to do is look over to Texas when you see the Texas Longhorns and Texas A&M not so good, and Baylor had came up and TCU had came up. Alabama couldn't afford that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see their second string players deciding to, well, let me go to UAB because they're just as competitive. So like Hootie was alluding to.
Oh man.
Froze up. He froze up.
The nation look and see, well, what's going on with these budgets? And if you looked at any of those budgets, it was like 30, 40 different programs on the football side operating in the red.
Auburn being one of them.
Every year.
Wasn't Auburn one of them?
The thing that they don't tell you is that almost every program in the country, if you look at just the football, most of them are negative. But football feeds the other program. They feed swimming, they feed archery, they feed tennis, they feed that. So yes, then you start going in the red. So when they did it and they had everybody look at it, it was like, wait a minute, I ain't right about these numbers. And that's now why you're seeing the resurgence of UAB. You can't stop it now. You can't stop them from getting facilities. You can't stop them from getting stadiums. They've raised they had like a surplus of $36 million before they opened up the doors when they came back. So now they kind of made it worse by trying to squash it. It kind of made it worse.
Now it got better. Now it got better. It made it better. So thank y'all for that.
Coming out of it, they won three out of 4 championships or something like that. They're competitive.
Right before they started getting competitive again.
Yeah, they won. I mean, they won 6 games the year before they disbanded the program, and then then they brought the program back, and they've been bowl eligible. I think it was 4 out of 5 years they made a bowl, and they was bowl eligible the year they didn't, but that was the COVID year. So I mean, Bill Clark had that thing rolling, bro.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and he created a monster down. And see, I'm right up the road from Louisiana Tech. So I done seen, what Bill Clark done did. Y'all done beat Tech in conference championship game. You know what I mean? I done seen the monster that he created down there. You know what I mean? So I never, even whenever it happened, y'all was in Conference USA, so it was a ripple, throughout the conference. But it never made sense to me then because y'all got buy-in from the community. Y'all got everything a small college really needs to succeed, and then they just we done. And then a year or two later they bring it back, and you see the results, bro. You see what UAB could be whenever they give them a chance.
And it was all kind of assessments being done even back then, man. Like they were saying that, hey, part of the reason why they're not fielding as much fanfare is because of where the stadium was located. Hey, part of the reason this looks bad, you got them in a 60,000 seat stadium and they're only averaging about 25 to 30. We need to shrink the stadium some. But then the way they would do it was say, oh, well, you can't justify that because they don't have enough people coming. But we all know if you look at when we were going to play Memphis, when we were going to play Cincinnati,
on campus,
anytime when you come in the locker room, the first thing you do is you pick up the little media guy. All you seeing is building. When you pull it up, you see cranes. They're building facilities. They're building weight rooms. And now you look at where those programs are. TCU's, they're in Big 12. Cincinnati and
going to the
Central
Big 12.
Florida are moving to the Big 12. Alabama wasn't stupid. They knew that. And they couldn't afford for little old UAB right there at their footstep. Whether people
still coming
though or not, they couldn't afford for them to be right there up under them like that.
Stop. Let me ask you a quick question. Scooter. So we had this conversation a lot about HBCUs on our Wednesday show about how, man, you guys, your program was shut down for a couple of years, but like you said, before they even fielded the team, they raised $36 million. Can you explain to us how did that happen? How did they get that money from?
Bill Clark. He did a lot of the footwork, a lot of the groundwork. He hung around when somebody else wanted to hire him, and he still hung around because he knew it wasn't right, and we needed somebody like that
That's crazy. Yeah, shout out to Bill Clark too, man.
Hey, so
that man didn't have a team to coach and stayed, bro.
That's like crazy.
He did coach one game somewhere else. When they disbanded the program, he was the offensive coordinator for South Alabama in their bowl game.
Yeah.
Was he like an interim or something like that?
Yeah, because they had pretty much hired him. He was going to be the offensive coordinator, but then they started talking about they bring the program back. Hey,
came back. See you. And to your question, too, a lot of people may not know this, but Birmingham is a huge has a big banking sector and financial sector. The money's in Birmingham. Like if you look around, the SEC headquarters is here, the SWAC headquarters, I believe, it's money in the city of Birmingham. You got 1.4 million people right in Metro Birmingham. There's a lot of big business industries. There's a lot of construction. There's a lot of banking. The money is here. The hospital at UAB is rolling in money. They get donated millions of dollars every couple of weeks for research and development. So it wasn't really that difficult. I don't want to take away from the legwork. It was plenty of legwork that had to be done. And you had to get out there and beat the streets. But the opportunity to create it was already here because of all the business and finances that was already here.
Plus they do have a lot of alumni who are, because of the medical, facility that UAB is.
Yeah,
it's a lot of donors there. That's if I'm not mistaken, Dr. James Andrews there too.
Yeah, that's my dog. He got my foot right.
We already talked about Bill Clark, his impact. He ended up having to step down this year because of back things and stuff. But one thing I do like, just kind of following y'all's story and stuff that y'all talk about on the podcast, he brings y'all like former players, even though he didn't coach y'all, he brings y'all back or was bringing y'all back to kind of show y'all different things. Y'all were the first ones to see the new stadium.
Yeah,
if I'm not correct. So that new stadium, tell us about it, because I hadn't been there yet, but I hadn't seen plenty of pictures.
Better than Legion Field.
we ain't gonna disrespect. I'd have some good memories at least.
Man, that stadium, like to see it is amazing. Just to know where the program came from, because we didn't have the best facilities and things when we were there. You know what I mean? And so, like, to see the weight room, see the locker room, see the new, just the jumbotron and stuff like that, man. And just to see the thought that went into it and how well organized it is. And like y'all talked about with Coach Clark, man, Coach Clark basically became a businessman / CEO. He had to, can figure out how to create tailgating spots to make a better family atmosphere. It was more than just coaching football, X's and O's, and even raising the money. So to see everything that's going on the stadium, man, it's amazing to me, because just knowing where we came from and what the program had to endure just to get those things that they have now is It's amazing, man.
For me, it's not just the stadium; it's the practice facility. I could play a full game at their practice facility and be super happy and fully happy because coming from where we came from, man, like we come from a place where if it rained outside, we had to go practice in a basketball gym. How I'm supposed to run routes in a basketball gym, man? So them boys, right? You know what I'm saying? So that ain't no realistic look like. So something as simple as that for me, it's that practice facility and the improvement of it. They have an outdoor area under a roof area, which makes it look like an indoor area, and then you can see the whole thing from the building, the weight rooms, the coach's office, the lounges, the meeting rooms, just being able to see stuff like that, man. Like we were sitting 7, 8 deep in a little something like a dinner table. Whereas now these boys have full rooms, man. So stuff like that, man. Just that I can appreciate. And these new coaches, man, they're doing a good job. They really bringing us around. I can't lie. When I was at UAB, like older players would come around, but I don't know how inviting it was. They didn't mind it, but I don't know how inviting it was. They actually invite you there. They want you. They call me too much, actually, but they call you. They call you to come back around, come hang around, come see this, come visit this, come do that. And that's pretty good, man. And when you get there, they treat you like royalty. So I like that, man. And that's something good. And that's something you need for your program and your school to keep going up and keep being better.
Yeah. With Coach Clark having to step down and stuff, what is this? Because I know he didn't leave the program. I mean, I know he's more taken towards his health. What is his role more like now?
Man, it's shaky. Like to it's some behind the scenes stuff that everybody not privy to, but
gotcha.
I don't know. I hate it. I hate that he had to step down to understand the health portion of it. But like everybody kind of alluded to or said, man, to lose a guy who you don't even know if you got a job. You don't even know if they're bringing a program back, but yet you're going to stick around because you have the faith to believe that there is a program coming back. Speaks volume of who his character is.
Right.
You know, I remember I had a teammate, Zach Woodfin, who played with him when he was the head coach down in Prattville when they won championship.
Yeah.
And the first time he came, I went and watched practice. I knew it was something, a different bounce, a different edge to him, you know. And so to lose a coach like that, when you come, especially at a program like UAB, because, you know, you have to be realistic sometimes. The next coach who might come in, if he's successful, may leave, you know, whereas this coach has been successful and this is his program. He doesn't want to leave. He's built this program. He's building this program. So to lose somebody like that is unfortunate. You know, you hear that maybe he could come back, you know, if his health is better, but then it's like, no, you read that, no, he's gone. We're moving on in a different direction. So right now, we don't really even know kind of how that goes, but just wish the best for him and his family, man. And I just hate to see it, man, because it came as a shock for us. We didn't know, you know, that it was that bad.
Right. And it was last minute. I will take him back tomorrow if he's ready to come back. So because I'm so appreciative for everything he's done and everything and the way he led this program into a different direction. It sucks the way it happened. I wish it would have happened differently, but we don't know. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure I think he'll be coaching somewhere. Hopefully it's UAB, but if not UAB, I think it will be.
Yeah, but I've heard some Auburn fans who said they'd take him if his health is good enough. But to that point,
Auburn getting Dion though.
They reached out to him during those years.
Yeah, they reached out to him before. They reached out to him before they hired Horses, and some other SEC schools reached out to him too. But I just want to say this though, like you never want to be the guy to follow the guy. You know what I mean? You never want to be the guy. You always want to be the second guy after the legend. But how y'all feel about I think Vincent his name, the guy who there now. I mean, he got him with a chance to be bowl eligible, so he obviously he's okay on the field. But you know, as former players, what's y'all's thoughts?
I like him. I like him for what he's doing. Just like Clark left at a weird time, he got hired at a weird time.
That's true. Yeah,
so I think that kind of affected him as well, coming in at a weird time. But like you say, he still got us bowl eligible. I would have liked to see us a little bit better, get at least 2-3 more wins a year. But I'm okay with what he's doing. But he does have to have a better year next year.
I like him just because he kind of a mirror image of Clark. Like he's super inviting, same. Hey, I want to meet y'all. I want to. As soon as he got in, he made sure that he had a luncheon. Made sure he met a lot of the former players. He's been coaching with Clark for a minute. A lot of the offense has been centered around Vincent, so it's not like it took a step. Honestly, in my head, I had us with all the starters we were returning. I had us undefeated coming to play LSU. And so I do feel like we kind of underachieved in that aspect. But like Hootie alluded to, like you took over in the middle, right before fall camp started. That's hard. That's difficult to put anybody in that situation. So you got to think, you got to think about some of that. But I like him simply because he was there. He was been around the program for a minute. He was there around the shutdown time. He understands the challenges already that's there at UAB. And I think if you hire somebody like him, you end up with a coach that's there to build the program, see it into the new conference, and be there for a while to come. Versus you go get one of these hot shots, man. They have 2-3 good years. They're out of there. They go into the next
with a $10 million buyout.
But to the point, I mean, I know you said you had y'all undefeated, and I know everybody had y'all pretty much winning Conference USA this year. But to your point, like y'all, he at least has been competitive. You know what I mean? Y'all been losing close games and stuff like that. So I think honestly, I think the UAB faithful just need to give him a chance. You know what I mean? Because like you say, he came into a messed up situation, and y'all still been competitive. And I know as like Louisiana Tech people around here, they ain't excited about him taking over because they think he gonna be pretty much another Bill Clark and have y'all right back at 8, 9, 10 wins every year. And they think he'll stay there if he starts winning, and he'll be there for 10 years plus. So I think y'all be all right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that one. I really do think that he just need an opportunity and a shot.
Give me the mic. I want to say something.
Right. Who got Dr. Doolittle over there? Hey, so y'all weren't under Bill Clark. Y'all were under Watson Brown. That's Matt Brown brother.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. Before y'all got there, if I'm not mistaken, that's who beat Saban when UAB came into LSU. I think his first year. So
it was
01, 2000 maybe.
2000.
Yeah.
But that was y'all freshman year, huh?
No, they weren't.
No, we weren't there yet. That was like
trying to make we already old, cuz don't make us
that
old.
That was like sophomore year of high school.
My bad.
But okay, so the team this year, we kind of talked about that a little bit. Let me ask this: strengths and weaknesses right now.
Run game.
Oh, I was gonna say, that boy a beast.
Yeah.
Debo.
Yeah, man, like it's nothing to be said. The strength is the running game, man. You put it in that boy hands, he get loose. The second string running back, man, from Mobile, he's pretty elusive and he's not a slouch. But that boy, man, you give him that ball, man, and he gonna make you pay for it. I think right now he's leading the country right now in rushing yards. He's been going back and forth. So
he's leading in rushing. He leading in rushing per game for sure. I think 160 or something a game, something like that.
Yeah. I like our passing game too, man. When we helped it, our starting quarterback been in and out. He been kind of battling some health. He played last week and looked pretty good, man, in his return. So, I feel like we super balanced, but running game, man, we have to take our hats off, man. They know how to run the ball.
Facts.
Yeah, man, we got to come in, and for a chance to win, we got to come in and put up at least 250 yards. And I'm saying we, meaning UAB. I don't know. I'm an LSU fan as well, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably just gonna go in there wearing blue and cheer up for both teams. And just hope both teams make good plays on both sides of the ball. But of course, the run game. But we're gonna have to see how this run game does against a bigger, a more aggressive, a faster defense than they've seen in a few years. So I want to see. Honestly, I want to see how LSU performs. I want to make sure they don't come out flat. Want to make sure they come out not underestimating this game, not having any fall offs, because that can play a part into when you end up in the future.
I hope they underestimate it. I hope they think they're going to come in and blow us out.
I wore my shirt just for this. Say loud and wrong. Just put he got
big prize tag. Big prize tag.
Hey, look, honestly, Stock, if LSU would have, if they didn't play as bad as they did last week on offense, I would probably say, you know what, I can see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're right between SEC games, but the fact that the offense didn't do so well last week, I don't know, man.
And I think that's what one of those games. I think that was one of those games where they was like, we just played so great last week offensively. We could come in and have a lax game against Arkansas, but I think they saw that and now they know they can't do that against USC. Or they should.
And we got a really good defense. Our defense.
I was just about to
really
ask
good.
you that. I was just because I know in the Bill Clark, y'all always had a good defense.
Yeah, they defend like they've been, especially in their secondary. They just play good, man. They got some big, nice size up front. A couple of those boys came from, like, one guy came from LSU, one guy came from Alabama.
Florida.
They ex-SEC guys. Yeah, they ex-SEC guys. So they some ball players up there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Justin Thomas to me was one of the best defensive linemen.
You know, he at UAB, but that's what I know. Bill Clark always had a defense when he was there. You know, that's one thing you knew when you play UAB, you was finna go play a defense that's finna come knock your head off. So that was my biggest question was does that same type of defense still, you know, do they still have that same type of defense? Because, you know, that's one thing that's going to travel for sure. Defense going to travel.
Carrying a lot. That's what's been carrying them a lot this year.
And they've been on the field too much.
Yeah, it's supposed to be ready to be cold. And you do not want to tackle Debo in it, man. Hey, that's the recipe, man. If Debo get loose, that's the recipe for UAB to win, man.
I'm gonna have to see how I'm gonna make it as a fan in cold rain, man.
I actually
I might have to go to the ball.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it to that one.
I came here for it. I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry.
Hey, what school you went to in New Orleans? Who?
O'Perry Walker. We've been disbanded. They UAB beat us. We are now mixed with LB Landry now.
Landry
it was Walker Landry, but then they found out that our guy was a racist and got rid of that name.
Landry Walker.
Now it's just Landry again. But I went to O'Perry Walker. We used to beat on Landry. We used to beat on Carr, who's the superpower now. You know what I'm saying? We was the first team to beat on Curtis. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all came up here. Y'all came up here and played never a time or two. Up here. I'm in Monroe, so I done heard of y'all.
Okay. Oh man. I was telling somebody at the beginning of the season who was talking about, you know, just do the season outlook. We came to the UAB game. I said UAB game is a game where going into the fourth quarter, it might be 24-17, and then it'll stretch out. At this point,
might not stretch out too far.
It might not stretch too far. Just simply because I think we'll be resting people at that time. Hopefully we'll be resting people.
Disrespect, Stock. You hear, bro?
Hey, be quiet, Christian Lips. Listen.
You want somebody you want to.
Hey, it's no, it's like in all seriousness. I think it's a get in, get points, get and come out injury free kind of game. I just don't. I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried.
I'm worried about Debo. Y'all, I'm worried about that. Man.
I am worried.
I'll be honest with you.
But just because I've seen games this year where LSU has struggled to tackle. And that ain't the one
at the beginning of the season, though.
Yeah, I don't care. That don't care, bro. That if Harold Perkins gonna have to, he gonna have to.
That's what I'm about to say.
I'm gonna need everybody to tackle like he did last week, pretty much.
Do you not think this is a game where LSU have to be impressive?
Yes.
So I don't think they're resting. I don't think they're resting nobody because they got to be impressive.
To that point though, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that they need to be impressive, but he gonna break a run or two, and he gonna keep UAB in the game with a long run, you know, and keep them in the game by himself pretty much. And you ain't gonna see no 21, 28 point victory. You're gonna see a 10, 13 point game. You know what I mean? Because Trey gonna have. But all it takes is one dude to be out of position and one dude to miss the tackle, and that one right there gonna take a 60.
He gonna take it somewhere.
I think he's gonna take
it 60. It's hard for me to argue inside because I'm happy with judge because
games that make it hard to judge because both teams have played kind of inconsistent at times. UAB has struggled bad on the road, man. We just haven't played well on the road. In the last game that it rained a little bit, we had a lot of fumbles. And so like I know y'all, LSU done kind of had a couple of games where they kind of played inconsistent. So I'm curious just to see how the matchup goes. It could go either way, That when you be in these kind of games, you go in there and make a few mistakes, then they up 24-0 on you before you know it. But so we got to come out and we got to play our best game.
Because this is not a game UAB can afford to have an okay shaky game and still, if UAB don't have its greatest game or one of its greatest games this year, they're gonna lose bad.
Yeah.
And they can't have that inconsistent game in this game. This ain't it. So you know what I'm saying? So they got to come in and play. I do think LSU can afford to have one of those type of games and still pull it off and still win that 10 to 13 point game. So I think that this really falls on UAB and how they perform.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If LSU wins this game 10 to 13, it's gonna be a problem. I'm just gonna be real with you.
No. He said by 10 or 13, not 10
if you win this game by 10 points,
they gotta win big. In order for them to have a chance at something in the future,
I agree. I just don't know how big they're gonna win this game, bro.
I don't either. Especially with that rain and cold.
I don't either. Bro.
I've been asking LSU people, man, and we had this conversation on the pod. In order for something bigger, what's bigger? Because they ain't going to the playoffs, right?
Why they not?
Y'all don't believe that.
If we win out, why we not?
I'm glad I ain't thrown
like if y'all win the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to the playoffs.
See, it ain't just me, man. It ain't just me, man.
Hey, y'all know something funny? Hold up, I got distracted because my boss over here was stealing my candy chain from work. But stop. I've been laughing because we had this.
We just had this conversation.
No, but 3-4 weeks ago, me and Stock, I called Stock. I was like, "Hey, Stock," I was like, "You know something crazy?" I said, "LSU could possibly win out and make the playoffs," and he said, "Dang, it's gonna be messed up when UAB mess it all up for y'all." And I started laughing, but in all reality,
it might be though. It might be the case.
It could, but in all seriousness, if LSU, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, if LSU wins out, they will have 3 top 10 wins. Nobody else behind them, or even Tennessee in front of them, can say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State and Michigan, one of them gonna have to lose, and neither one of them. Well, maybe Ohio State. Well, Ohio State could be able to say that.
Ohio State ain't got 3 top 10 wins.
So if Michigan and Ohio State play a close game though.
But see, they still don't.
But Michigan has to win, because if they lose, they is out.
Ohio State gonna win by 17, man. Ohio State winning by 17.
Michigan's strength of schedule is terrible. Their non-conference is terrible. Like the only good win they would have would be Penn State. Like they have to beat Ohio State, or they out.
Here's my thing. This is what I base it off of. Like LSU does have some. If they win out, they got some big wins. But I just feel like, in theory, if they went out and they got 2 losses, really ugly loss early in the season, and they get in, to me, then that's going to show.
Loss, though?
That's going to. It's time.
It's 40-13. Okay.
No, he talking about. I thought which one are you talking about?
Florida State.
Yeah, he talking about Florida State being an ugly loss.
We
top 25 team, man.
Hey, listen, I'm a Florida State fan. That's my number one team. Well, UAB, but that's my team, right? We lost to Illinois. You know what I mean? Like everybody we supposed to. Clemson came in, beat us. NC State beat us.
But Florida State a ranked team, though.
Who was supposed to beat us, beat us.
We lost to them
but you're a ranked team, though. So obviously, I understand your point. To your point, y'all are on a playoff contending team, but y'all are still a good football team, and you lost by 1 point because of a blocked extra point.
You're not Iowa, man. You're not Iowa.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, if they get in,
you're not Northwestern, man.
No, you can say how you want it. If they get in with 2 losses, it's time to throw away. You got to throw away the system. It's no longer in the game.
No. I'll tell you this.
They already throwing it away.
Here's the thing about it.
Just saying.
A lot of people are because the argument is 2 losses. A lot of people said the same thing in 2007.
Oh yeah,
in 2007.
Yeah, but that was
When
a totally different setup and system, man.
Well, here's the thing. But you played the best team, arguably the best team in Ohio State, and you beat them by what, 14?
Pretty handily. Yeah.
That's very true.
And at the same time, so I
My
get
question-
it. It's a different system, but if you look at college football playoff and BCS, they've pretty much always kind of lined up in what they would have done.
And what I'm saying is, like, I'm not saying that y'all not deserving.
No,
I'm just saying that if you get in there and you put a 2-loss team, I don't care who they lost to, you put a 2-loss team in there just because they won
over
over who? But who you gonna take out? That's what I've been trying to figure out.
A conference champion, a two-loss SEC champion deserves it.
Tennessee,
or what? Oh, they deserve it over Tennessee. They won their conference. You can argue the semantics over that. That's a different argument. But Tennessee had a chance to win their conference, but they lost to Georgia.
Who was that, man? Was it Missouri or something? I mean, they had like 3-4 losses or something, won the East or some shit.
That was Missouri. That was Missouri one year.
Right. Like, we can't. Like, I think sometimes we gotta weigh in the conference.
Yeah, but
that's different. That's different.
Okay, but cool. But Tennessee lost to Georgia, right? And then LSU turned around and beat Georgia. That has to matter for something.
Yeah,
and when in the year
LSU
that Missouri had
was against Tennessee, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But who got the conference championship?
Hey,
championship was canceled out.
But who has the conference? Who has the conference championship?
But head to head, I beat you.
It doesn't matter. You didn't win your conference.
I think it's more into that too. I think that yeah, we lost to them head to head. I think they messed us up when they moved us from the night game to the 11 o'clock game. I think that played a big role into it. I'm sorry. Like 11 o'clock game, 11 o'clock game down there hit different, man. The night game.
It was hot as hell.
Hey,
but okay, so who's Tennessee's? That's true too. But let's look at their resume. Okay, Tennessee has 2 top 10. How many top 10 wins they got? 1, Alabama,
and
LSU wasn't top 10 whenever they played them.
Yeah,
so they got 1 top 10 win, and LSU if LSU beats Georgia,
can we do
if
that?
LSU if LSU beats Georgia, if LSU beats Georgia, they got 3 top 10 wins.
You can't do that.
You can't downgrade. You can't downgrade LSU for Tennessee. And then try to argue for y'all being in there, right?
We won the top 10 team when they beat us.
So even if
you look at their resume, how many top 10 wins do they have?
Okay.
But even with that,
when Florida State beat y'all, they wasn't ranked.
Yeah, we weren't either.
Right. So y'all lost to unranked Florida State. They were bums.
Okay, we wasn't.
And they lost to all the ranked teams that they played. Every ranked team Florida State played, they lost to.
You can't sit up here and say we was unranked at that time.
Okay. Look, when you look at their resume, how many top 10 wins do they have?
Even if you take Tennessee and add LSU in,
LSU still has more.
They still have more top 10 wins.
Hey guys, I know I'm on the golden boot, but let me tell y'all gonna get the golden boot. If y'all win.
If we beat Georgia, we in. If we beat Georgia, we in.
Hey,
I think we got to be impressive.
Impressive win.
We got to be impressive.
Both. The way I look at it, if you beat Georgia, you beat the number 1 team. You are deserving at that point.
But you have to blow out A&M, and you have to blow out. I'm sorry.
You got to beat Georgia. You got to beat Georgia. It can't be close with Georgia neither. It's got to be. You got to beat Georgia by at least.
I don't think you got to blow out Georgia, bro. They're the number 1 team in the country. You beat them.
No, you ain't got to blow them out.
6 points.
I think you do. I think
even the field goal. I think you beat them the same way you beat Bama. You good?
Well, I tell you what. I get what you're saying because if you blow them out, it helps. It makes it really hard to argue that they're not deserving.
If you have to blow them out to say that they're a lock. You know what I mean? Because if you barely beat them, then they gonna make the argument at all. Leave no question. If you gotta blow them out, and then they can't argue against you at that point, man. Yeah,
right. Y'all get that. Y'all kind of biased around here.
Especially I think. I think USC gonna jump us ultimately if they win out. I think they're gonna. I think if they win out, I think they're gonna jump us because Pac-12, the Pac-12 ain't never had nobody in there who really had a shot, so they're gonna be desperate to put a Pac-12.
Let's
team
go
in.
UCLA.
And they gonna say that they more deserving because they only got one loss and they avenged they lost.
And that's kind of what I was trying to kind of get at. It's not that LSU wouldn't be deserving. It's just that we start putting two lost teams in here. It's time to get these. What they're trying to make it 8 or 12 team. It's time to get that tomorrow.
Be that anyway. It need to be that
anyway.
I mean, if you had eight, you could get LSU in as the conference champion, Georgia, Tennessee at large, and then Ohio State or Michigan loser would be in at large.
No, that's some good football being played in the end of the season.
That's some good football play.
This year.
Yeah.
This year will be, but
but you know the argument they say is then 13 still gonna be argument. We beat LSU last week.
Number 9.
It be Clemson saying, you know, we deserve to get in because we only lost to Notre Dame, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, they got smacked by Notre Dame.
Yeah,
yes, they did. Yes, they did. All right, fellas, let me go ahead.
That one was trash.
What stop?
Anyway,
horrible take.
Anyway,
horrible take. Hey,
I knew. Hey, I told y'all they was gonna lose to Notre Dame, though. I did say.
Yeah,
that.
you did. Hey, Hootie, stop. So Daniel wasn't with us when we was at we came for swat me today. But I told y'all we can't get right on the show. There you go, right there. Boom.
Everybody need one. Everybody needs one.
Like Dabo, just because I don't like Dabo.
No, that ain't your only bad. You got some.
That's not your only bad
take. Great takes that when they come back around, they be right. Y'all just can't see.
Hey man, listen.
The Saints should trade Alvin Kamara.
I also said the Saints should have not traded Chauncey Gardner, and y'all was like, "What? What you talking about?"
I don't think that was a conversation.
Yeah, that was.
I think you dreamed that one.
I've never met you before, and since we've been on here, you've made a lot of great points. If they putting that on you, man, you got to fight one of them. The person that they're trying to put on
fightable. It's fightable.
It's fightable.
That's a fightable.
That was crazy.
All right, before we get up out of here, score prediction.
In the rain.
In the rain.
In the rain. I'm going 31-17 LSU.
27-14 LSU.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like 31-14. I'm somewhere in there.
Who?
31-10. I'm gonna go LSU.
Oh, okay.
It's UAB 0-4, 0-5 on the road this year, man. It's hard.
That's true. So,
it's hard, man.
No, fuck that. I changed my mind. 24-27.
Nah, we got it on the hey.
Y'all look at my helmet in my case. I will put that bitch
You
on.
put it on?
Hey, hold up. We gonna hey, I'm gonna get to that in a second. I just want you to know, stop. After we go live and stuff, before it go on YouTube, I'm gonna edit that part out where you change the score, and I'm gonna send it to all your former teammates. But nah, I guess I'm last. I'm gonna go 35-21 LSU.
I think 38-10. 38-10.
Okay. Chris say 42-10.
I think that weather gonna mess with that offense a little bit, man.
Yeah. I think we get a
42-10. Come on, Chris.
I think we get a defensive touchdown. That's the only reason we get 35.
The real question: how many yards does McBride have rushing for UAB?
97.
I think they hold him under 102.
97.
I'm gonna go 90.
Oh, he said UAB will not score. Ooh, I'd be impressed. If that happened, I'd be very impressed.
Oh, man.
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful right there.
Has LSU held anybody scoreless this year?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, almost. New Mexico State.
Southern,
they did. They did hold New Mexico State scoreless. New Mexico State. I mean, not New Mexico State. New Mexico.
Offensively, we way better.
Ain't that the same New Mexico State? They ain't won in like 5 years or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, New Mexico. They won. They won the week after we played them. New Mexico.
Never heard who they beat. Exactly.
UAB. No, I'm just playing.
Bishop State A&M.
Bishop State South.
Right.
Bishop, they be Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bishop Sycamore A&M.
They probably would have. Now LSU would have went scoreless in the Southern game.
Woulda.
But a certain quarterback that everybody wanted to see.
Chill
out. Do a pick six.
Wow, bro, you so petty, bro.
Call me what you want. Did I lie?
New Mexico State was 2-0.
New Mexico. Not New Mexico State.
New Mexico was 2-1 when we played them, and they 2-7 or something like that.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, yes.
It don't matter. It was still trash.
All right, so here
I'm
we go.
just saying they're not a good football team, man.
Hey, I got one last question for y'all before we let y'all get up out here. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Okay,
go.
real quick. When it comes to UAB and teams like UAB transfer portal, do y'all like it? Do you not like it? Like, what's y'all opinion on it?
I originally started off not really. I wasn't a huge fan of the transfer portal, but I like it. I think I'm seeing how it's balancing things out. It's getting the control back to these players, and allowing them to kind of take more ownership of their career and the direction of their life. Just like these coaches leave when they get ready. So I like it, and I think for teams like UAB. If they get active in the portal, it allows them to get competitive, from year to year with some of the bigger schools. So I like it.
Mm-hmm. And not even that, man, because I was almost a part of the transfer portal, but they made it so hard for me. I almost left UAB, came back to Southern, but they made it so hard. I had got to a point that like, man, I ain't trying to do all that. Forget it. I'm staying here. I'm gonna thug it out and do what I got to do. And for schools like smaller, like Jackson State. You see what it's doing to schools like Jackson State. So I like it. And I've always been on that side too. Like the coaches can do it. Why can't they?
Right.
If the coaches can do it, the players can do it. And they get paid.
I was just gonna say UAB is always kind of I don't want to over exaggerate, but they've always kind of benefited from transfers and stuff like that. Or as you said before, those players who maybe didn't qualify for a larger school and went there, so they took their talents there.
I got two homeboys I know who transferred to UAB for basketball. One of them from ULL and one of them from Louisiana Tech. So I know even in other sports, UAB has always been a big transfer.
And they got Eric Gaines. That boy, he doing some things right now.
And Stock mentioned he was a prop too, but I see that it's different levels of prop because Stock was a prop. I was also a prop, but I was able to practice and stuff. So I could have practiced, but I couldn't play. And me as a young freshman, I was still mad, man. They ain't even got me getting no first team rep. Nigga, I had to call my high school coach. He was like, you can't even play. What you worried about? And that's my coach right now. That's Frank. He's actually Frank Wilson. He's the running backs coach at LSU now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I got a question for you because I ain't never been to Stock House. Is he trying to trick us putting that Obama book
that's
up
that's
I was gonna say because
we had a podcast from there before. That's it.
I ain't know if he he put the Obama book there to try to look stupid.
Now, I don't know if he read it. I don't know if he read it. I don't think he read it.
LeBron James. He put a LeBron.
I have to tell you a secret. You're right. I didn't read it. It's a picture book. It's just pictures.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you a secret. At the end of Obama book, it's nothing but pictures. It's like 20 pages of pictures. I tell everybody all the time. I was like, I said, man, the Obama book is the longest book I ever read. But I don't tell everybody that the last like 20 pages is nothing but pictures. I just tell them it's the longest book I ever read.
Now that's legit. A portrait. It's a portrait book.
Oh,
so it's like literally like all of his, like him and Michelle, or him getting on Air Force One. It's just a whole bunch of powerful pictures.
Gotcha.
Let me ask y'all one random question since we're talking about UAB and y'all new stadium. Like, Have y'all ever thought about y'all seen what the Carolina Panthers did last year with that holographic panther that jumped around the stadium and stuff like? Why y'all don't get a holographic dragon that blow fire and all that and have it, bouncing around the stadium or something like that?
I'm gonna take that to the review board. You know what I'm saying? I like that idea. I'm gonna take that.
To get a holographic
we got a real Mike the Tiger, bro. Like they can't get
him in the stadium.
That's Peter. You gotta talk to Peter about that. But if what they gonna do? Go get a Komodo dragon or something? I mean, like they can't get a real dragon, but they
we can holler at Game of Thrones.
Get some CGI from them. You know what I mean? Yeah, that'll be dope. Like when y'all. When the players run out to have the dragon like right there, y'all run through the fire or something, man, that'll be dope.
It's gonna be hard running through fire.
At one point, them people was really talking about getting a Komodo dragon. They was like, "Nah, you can't." Y'all know that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that.
Hey, hold up.
They said, "What happened if you get loose on the side?"
Whole team messed up.
Hey, I just want to. Hold up. Chris say a team with an unrealistic mascot never scared me. Chris, Rice scare you.
Right, hey, rice only be potatoes depending on the dish.
Rice.
Rice only be. Hey, you can't say that. You can't say that because Troy beat us.
No, how you said unrealistic mascot?
UAB beat LSU before.
That is very true.
Stop. I don't know what's wrong with you, man. But
you're
making us Christians look bad.
He was like 2 when that happened.
He gonna grow up today.
Chris,
man. Oh, y'all don't like that? That's player, man. If you didn't have a picture in the 80s with them socks pulled up, you ain't player.
Wait, what you talking about? Oh, the baby picture. Okay, bet.
Oh,
who messing with your baby picture?
Nah, they're talking about the black and white picture in the back of them. That's what they're
talking about. Man. All right. Hey, fellas, go ahead. Tell everybody where they can find y'all, man. Where I listen to y'all at.
I'm on stock_IG. And you can also find our podcast.
You're freezing up, man. I got you. Go on, be quiet, man. The Dummies podcast. I got a shirt on, man. You freezing up over there with your bad Wi-Fi. But the Dummies podcast is on everything, man. Google, Spotify, YouTube, Apple. It's on everything. So find us on there. Also Instagram, Facebook, those things too. I am Scooter. It's Scooter on Instagram, SCOOTA. It's like 4 or 5 A's. You put it in, you'll see me on there. Also follow us, the Content Factory. The Content Factory BHAM. If you ever need someone to come and record your podcast in person when you're in Birmingham, Alabama, come holler at us. We got you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, if you go to the Content Factory, use promo code The Golden Boot, and you will get 0% off.
And we got you. That's a fire deal.
Who's Golden Boot? Oh yeah. They supplemented, so it's gonna be like an extra $200.
Gotta put a tax on top of it. But I appreciate y'all boys for bringing us on, and not only on bringing us on, man, just the presentation that y'all gave us to come on, man. The photo. I looked at the photo. I was like, man, I look like that. I used to look like that. I gotta even look like
that. Y'all see how he was holding the football like a little kid? He didn't have the laces on that thing.
You get better grip. Found the video. I think it was like 2005 or 2006, where all the UAB players and the coach was like, I am the hero. I hate that. I was like, I am.
I remember that. I hate
the hero.
I hate that. The commercial.
That was the struggle. That's let you know where we came from. That was the struggle that Hootie couldn't even get his hair cut. Then the hair was just all matted all over the place.
Hey, the only reason I ain't playing
needed that cost of attendance, son. Needed that cost of attendance, son, bro.
You're right. Exactly.
Hey, the only reason I ain't playing because they had a video of them beating LSU in the beginning, and I didn't need that badge this week. I ain't need that badge.
You just said it though. You just said
you were doing the reverse. What is called Hootie? The reverse
man. Rubbing off on him. Look at him, man. Come on, man.
But ladies and gentlemen, that was Stock and Hootie from the Dummies podcast. Thank y'all for coming on,
man. Thank y'all, man. Again, like Hootie said, appreciate y'all for having us on, man. Love everything that y'all doing. And it's a honor and pleasure to be on y'all platform. To all y'all listeners, man, thank y'all for letting us share y'all platform with y'all people, man. Look us up, follow us.
All right,
Yeah,
there
man.
you go.
Appreciate y'all for coming, bro.
Have a good one, fellas.
Check them out at the Dummies Podcast on everywhere you can find your podcast. So